who the Ravens would go to in the next, who would be visiting Baltimore in the next round. Let's talk about our last Big Five of the regular season. We're going to talk about our wild card round here and get that squared away. Last week, Cincinnati and Cleveland, both teams. Shout out to the Bengals a little bit. Good stuff. Considering the circumstances, I mean, they're not making the playoffs, but they had a winning record. The entire AFC North winning record, 9-8. That came in last place in the division. Both of those teams were resting players. Flacco, et cetera, didn't play. Well, the Browns were resting players. Bengals pretty much played their full complement and actually got the winning season. They have a decent backup, so good for them there. Same with LA with the Rams and the 49ers. Rams actually, I think, won that game. They were, again, resting players. We had Carson Wentz against Sam Darnold, not backup quarterbacks on two good teams. So definitely both of those teams resting players. San Francisco, despite the loss to the Ravens, was in the same position. They had actually won the NFC the week before, so they're off as well. They get the bye in the NFC, and they get the week off. Josh Allen, great stuff. Josh Allen, I could say this. He's compared to Elway. I kind of see that. Just a phenomenal athlete. Again, the thing you like about him is the thing you don't like about Josh Allen is the picks, the throws downfield, that thing. But that's what makes him great. I like the fact that he's not scared to throw the ball downfield. He makes it happen for him when he needs to. He makes a play. He can do it all by himself, carrying on his back. Miami, yeah. Not surprised that they lost to Buffalo. I think Buffalo is just a better team than they are. Good for the Packers that get in. Packers were able to do this year what they weren't able to do last year. They actually got in, beat the Bears in the last game. Jordan Love, I'm a little surprised by it, honestly. Packers, though, kind of pulled it together and did enough to get the last seed in the playoffs. I thought the best game of the weekend was the Colts and the Texans. C.J. Stroud is no joke. C.J. Stroud is outstanding. Very poised down the stretch. Very calm, everything. Liked it a lot. Colts, they have a lousy owner, I think. They have a weird GM, and I think they have the same problem. They kind of implode because they don't have a quarterback down the stretch. Kind of the same thing we've seen three straight years with Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz, and now Minshew, not good enough to go against a team with a better quarterback in the last game and get him in, even in a home game this year. So Colts with a lot of the same issues. Like, why don't you blame Minshew? Why don't you blame Minshew for all your problems? Or say like you've been doing, like you did with Wentz, like with that ridiculousness a few years ago. Okay, so great storylines in these games. Great storylines. You couldn't write a lot of these storylines in all of these games. So excellent stuff here. We're going to get a great slate of games. I think only one game I think is a bit of a mismatch. Other than that, really, really good storylines, really good really good interest in a lot of these games. Knew this was going to be the first game. Texans, for whatever reason, whenever they get in, they always get the Saturday early game. That's exactly what happened. They're going to be playing Joe Flacco and the Cleveland Browns. And when we talk about storylines, old versus young, youth versus age. Joe Flacco, one of the oldest players in the NFL. I think Joe is 38 now against the rookie, C.J. Stroud. I think C.J. Stroud, to me, I don't vote, obviously, but he get my vote for Rookie of the Year. Flacco is a resurgence for him. Get him on a good team. He's gotten his team in the playoffs. One that kept the starting job. Fantastic. The Browns defense is serious business. I think this is probably, along with the Ravens, the best defense in the NFL this year. I think Myles Garrett is a handful for anybody, even though they have a good left tackle. I think in Houston, I think Tunzel, I think, is one of the better left tackles. But their whole front seven is fantastic. Denzel Ward, they're back in. I think he's going to give them a lot of problems. Stroud pressed me tons. Pressed me in the post game and pressed me all. But the problem here with them is they haven't been here before. You got a rookie head coach. You got a rookie quarterback. Some people say, well, it's overrated to have that. I'm not so sure. I like the Browns are not going to be in over their skis in the moment. I think the Texans haven't been here. Very young team, very young coach, first time head coach in the playoffs. And I think the defense would be too much here. I think even though he's been as good as he's been, I think the Browns defense is on another level. I think Browns win this game. Uh, the Dolphins went ahead. They went ahead and got into the playoffs a little while ago, and they're going against the Chefs in Arrowhead. It'll be unusually cold in Arrowhead for this one when the Chefs play the Dolphins. I'm gonna surprise some people. I don't like him. I like the Dolphins in this one. I really do. The Dolphins, I know their problems. They have a lot of guys get hurt on defense. They lost Bradley Chubb. They lost a couple of their linebackers. They're not sure if they're going to have Xavier Howard in this game. So they definitely have problems. Offensively, they've struggled a bit in recent weeks, I think. The big thing for them, one thing that I do like, is they are probably getting Mostert back. That's a big deal. They are getting Jalen Waddle back. That's a big deal. They're getting their two guys back. Storyline here, Tyreek Hill going to Kansas City. Can he knock out the Chiefs, the team that traded him away, in the playoffs? They don't lose much at home. So Kansas City this year, not the number one seed now this year. You're in the wild card round, and you're playing Tyreek Hill and the Chiefs. Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins. I like them here. The Chiefs, I can tell you I don't like them. they kind of, I think, gotten a pass from a lot of people. Their offense is not really good. Kelsey's been good, but he's been hurt. He's banged up. He's older. Their receivers haven't helped. Their offensive tackles have really struggled all year long. Their defense is pretty good, but it's not great. It's not what we just talked about, like Cleveland, Baltimore, San Francisco, or anything like that. So it's not that. And I think they kind of caught a break with the schedule. I think had they had a tougher schedule, they really would have been exposed. Even the win they had against Cincy, unimpressive. I like Miami. I do. I think Miami wins this game and knocks out Kansas City. This is a mismatch, I think. Squealers got in against Buffalo. This is the early window on Sunday. That's good because you go to Buffalo. It's so cold. I'm glad they're not making them play at 8 o'clock. The Squeals have no chance to beat Buffalo. This is the one I think is a complete mismatch. I think it's good that they got in. Shout out to Mike Tomlin. Hey, look, got 10 wins out of this team. Team didn't play well all year long. I shout out to him. He got them there. Good for him. I don't think there's anything here. They're not going to have Watt. I think the only way they lose this game, frankly, the Bills, is if they beat themselves. Allen had a couple picks in that one, and I think that kept Miami in the game. So he's going to have to tighten up a bit against the Squealers if he wants to win. But I think they win this one pretty handily. I like Buffalo in this one. Cowboys and Bills. Bills. Cowboys in the pack. Green Bay Packer. Green Bay is very good, considering how much better Jordan Love has got. Jordan Love has really improved during the year. He was a guy, every time I watched him, all he did was dink dunk. Everything was short, and if he tried to throw the ball down the field, it was picked off. If he tried to throw the ball downfield, he's been working on his downfield accuracy. He's been working on his receivers. That's very good. And I think as he got better, the Packers got better. Mike McCarthy, here's a guy who replaced him. He's going against Matt LaFleur, a guy that replaced him on a full-time basis in Green Bay. He went ahead, gets the job in Dallas. Little bit of pressure on McCarthy as well. Jerry Jones said they would take it game by game. I think they're probably a better team than Green Bay is. I think Green Bay, kind of the same thing I feel here as I do with Houston. Not really been here before. Jordan Love, first time as a starter, even though he's not a rookie. Christian Watson, outstanding young receiver that they have. The good stable of running backs, defense decent enough. I don't know what's going on with Jair Alexander. That he acted like a fool with the coin toss, all that. Dallas should win this game. I would say this: a little bit of pressure on them here. Losing this round would not be good, and I think there's a little bit of pressure on him. I think they come out tight here, but I think they win. I think there's too much. They have too much talent not to lose Green Bay. I don't think Green Bay has enough talent. This game, probably, if this was a WWE, this is the main event. Talk about storyline here. We talk about guys playing their former team, coaches. This is the best of all. Matt Stafford going to play a game in Detroit, a playoff game. Finally, Stafford is to play a playoff game against Detroit. Detroit, the number 3 seed, going against the Lions, winning their first division title. This is good stuff. And here's why it's really good. These two teams are very, very, very similar. They run the ball. They have good quarterbacks, veteran quarterbacks, good running games, multiple back. Kyron Williams on one side, Jamar Gibbs on the other side, outstanding receiver, Amon St. Brown, Puka Nacua. Two very, very evenly matched teams here. I'm pretty sure the defense on the Lions is better than the Rams. I think that's the thing here. So it's really going to be tough to go against Stafford. I'm taking Detroit in this game. I like them. I don't think they've got this far to. They're certainly not going to be sleepy here. Goff, I think, especially wants to win this game. Everybody's talking about the Stafford thing. Goff wants to win this game, I think, in the worst way. I think he's got the superior team. They're going to be at home winning this game. I think they win this game. That's probably of the two teams, even though they're kind of evenly matched. The Lions defense, not. The Rams defense outside of Aaron Donald, not in love with it here. These are two teams, obviously, here in the playoffs that are fortunate to be here. I think these are two teams. I think this is probably the worst team overall. The Bucs, they're going to be hosting the Eagles, who have been scuffling, to say the least, the last few weeks. Eagles have been banged up. I think that's clear. Hurts is not the same. He's clearly not the same. He's definitely injured the last few weeks. They've lost a bunch of guys to injury. I think that's why they scuffle. And even when they were winning, it was just by the hair of the chin. They won a lot of close games, and I think that took a lot out of them. I think the steam is a lot out of them. Here's the thing. I think they're kind of catching a break here in this one because I don't think the Bucs are a very good team here. They're about average. They were in a lousy division. Mayfield is really not good in the playoffs here. They are at home. I think that'll help them a little bit. But I don't think there's enough bullets in the gun. They have some decent receivers in Tampa. That's about it. Decent enough line. I think the Eagles defense will show up. I think it's good enough. I think, though, it'll be close. I don't think there's enough there because the Eagles, even when they win, it's close. I like the Eagles in this one. I don't think Tampa wins a playoff game. There you go. There is your wild